Ever heard of a minimalist billionaire? You know, the kind who throws cash from windows?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Who are we talking about?
This guy ends up detained in Paris recently. Headlines everywhere. It's Pavel Durov, the man behind Telegram.
Oh, wow, Durov. So that's what those conv.txt excerpts are about, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And they are wild. Get this, he's being called a privacy champion by some.
And public enemy number one by others, I bet. This arrest has privacy clashing with geopolitics in a way that's got everyone talking.
It's messy. To really unpack it, we almost have to rewind a bit. See, before Telegram, there was VK, Durov's other creation.
VK, I remember. Like Russia's Facebook, but a bigger deal, especially for sharing media, right?
Huge. More than just a social network, VK was culturally ingrained there.
Which is what made Durov's clash with the Kremlin so important. During those big protests back in 2011 to 2014.
You mean the ones with the Ukrainian Euromaidan movement and all that?
Exactly, all that. The government leaned on Durov, wanted him to silence opposition voices on VK, control the narrative,
And he refused. Flat out refused.
Big consequences, too. He chose exile, sold his stake in VK, even faced threats.
It got personal fast. And that, I think, is where Telegram comes from, right? This desire for truly secure private communication.
Born from experience, for sure. Can't forget Nikolai, though.
Nikolai.
Yeah, Pavel's brother, often overshadowed. He's the brains behind Telegram's encryption.
The other Durov.
Exactly. A crucial part of the story, though. Telegram wouldn't be what it is without him.
Okay, so we've got this drive for privacy, but how private is Telegram really? That's where things get complicated.
Yeah, because here's the catch. Telegram's big on encryption. Strong encryption, they say.
Sounds good so far.
But there's a but. It only applies to those secret chats. Regular chats, different story. Client-server encryption, they call it.
Which means?
Which means Telegram potentially has the keys to unlock those messages. Big difference. Raises questions about their privacy claims, especially when governments come knocking.
So even with Durov's history, there's this tension. Is it really secure or is there more to it?
Right. And then there's the elephant, or should I say bear, in the room. Telegram's role in the Russia-Ukraine war.
We can't ignore that timing. Durov gets arrested, and suddenly everyone's talking about how Telegram is being used in the conflict.
It's everywhere, apparently. We have that study from the Digital Forensic Research Lab, the DFRL. Their findings are kind of mind-blowing. They found telegrams being used for all sorts of things, propaganda.
Really? Like what?
Well, they found evidence of groups like Wagner using it.
Wagner on Telegram. Seriously?
Yep. And it's not just them. Apparently, Telegram's features, those massive public channels and the fact that it's easy to be anonymous.
Right.
Well, those features make it perfect for spreading disinformation quickly and to a huge audience.
It's scary how effective it can be.
Right. And the DFRL, they dug even deeper, found evidence of recruitment going on, too.
Recruitment, as in for the military, on Telegram.
That's what they found. Even coordinating attacks in some cases. Features that are meant for, privacy and free speech.
Being used in a whole different way.
Exactly. Which is, I think, why governments are so interested in what's going on behind the scenes on Telegram.
Yeah, they want access. I get it. Though, is it really just about that? It's not all on the up and up, is it? I mean, we saw what happened with that Russian opposition leader. What was her name? Marina Machapa?
Machapa, right. Her case was chilling.
Her messages. Compromised. Someone was reading them.
Which really highlights the risks here, even if Telegram isn't directly involved. Their platform, the way it's structured.
It's a target.
For exploitation, exactly. Right. So was this arrest really about Durov not playing ball on content moderation? Or was it?
Something else.
A power play for information, maybe? Especially now, with the war and everything.
But would they really need to make such a public show of it? Seems risky.
Fair point. Intelligence agencies, they usually work in the shadows.
Right. So this whole thing with Durov.
It's a bit of a head-scratcher. Maybe there are more covert operations going on, and this arrest was just, I don't know.
A warning to other platforms, maybe?
Could be. A reminder that nobody's untouchable. It all circles back to this debate, though, doesn't it? Online privacy versus security.
A debate that's getting louder.
And messier. How much are we willing to give up, in the name of safety? When does privacy become a liability?
And who gets to decide that? Remember when Russia blocked Telegram a while back?
And then unblocked it. What happened there? Did they get what they wanted? Who knows?
It's like they operate on a different level.
Exactly. And it's not just Telegram.
Yeah.
We like to think these platforms, Signal, whatever, they're secure, but
there's always a catch.
Always. There are vulnerabilities everywhere. No system is perfect.
So what do? We can't all become encryption experts overnight.
True, but we can be smarter. Educate ourselves about the tools we're using, their limitations, what information we're putting out there.
Being more mindful of our digital footprint.
Exactly. And that means not just blindly clicking agree on every privacy
Yeah.
policy. Read them. Understand what you're signing up for.
So much of it feels overwhelming, though. Like, how much can we really control?
More than you might think.
Mm-hmm.
Start small. Maybe explore some privacy-focused browsers. Be more intentional about what you share on social media.
Little changes add up.
Absolutely. And remember, it's an ongoing thing. The digital world's always changing. New threats, new technologies. We've got to adapt.
Be vigilant.
Right. But we also need to be louder, demand more transparency, more accountability from these companies, these governments who hold so much power.
We started with Pavel Durov, this sort of eccentric figure fighting for privacy, and now
We're talking about the future of privacy itself.
Durov's story, this whole situation with Telegram, it's all connected.
And it's getting harder and harder to separate technology from geopolitics, from our own personal freedoms.
It's a lot to think about. The convert.txt files you shared mentioned John McAfee, too. Remember him?
Oh, yeah. Cybersecurity legend. Kind of an extreme character, though.
He changed his email address every 2 weeks. Did you know that? Because he was convinced he was being watched. 14 days, that was it. A new email every 2 weeks.
Extreme, yeah. But he was onto something. This is way before data breaches and online privacy were, dinner table conversation.
It makes you think, though, right? Where's the line between being cautious and, well, being that guy?
It's a tough one. McAfee might have taken it to the extreme, but he highlights a real anxiety a lot of us feel. How much do they know about us?
It's not just what we post anymore, is it? It's every click, every site, even where we are every minute of the day.
Exactly. And that data, like we're seeing with Telegram, it's gold. For companies, for governments, anyone who can get their hands on it.
If it's free, you're the product, right? That old saying, except now, the product is us.
And it's only getting more valuable. AI, machine learning, all that. This data fuels it all, for better or worse.
So where does that leave us? What are we supposed to do? Most of us aren't John McAfee, ready to disappear off the grid.
We don't have to be. It comes back to awareness, understanding the trade-offs, making informed choices. You don't need to be a tech whiz.
But just being more mindful, is that enough?
It's a start. Read those privacy policies, even if you just skim them. Think about what you're sharing and who you're sharing it with.
Like switching to a more privacy-focused browser? Being more careful about what we post on social media? Small steps.
Exactly. Every little bit helps. And remember, this is a long game. Things change fast in the digital world. We have to be ready to adapt.
Stay informed.
Yes. And push for more transparency from the companies, the governments, all of them. They have a lot of power. We need to hold them accountable.
We started with Pavel Durov, this one guy fighting for privacy, but this is way bigger now. This is about the future of privacy for everyone.
And it's a conversation we all need to be having. Durov, Telegram, it's all part of a much bigger picture, one that's only getting more complex.
It's kind of overwhelming when you think about it. Technology, politics, our own choices.
Yeah.
They're all tangled up.
They are. But at the end of the day, it comes down to this. What kind of digital world do we want to live in? What are we willing to fight for?
That's the question, isn't it? Big thanks to you for diving into this with us. And to everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, stay vigilant.